What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, the most recent episode of My Hero Academia just dropped, and honestly, man, this episode is a masterpiece. This episode, in my opinion, is better than the Endeavor episode solely because I felt like this was an episode that focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is All Might and his importance to the narrative. Now, where do I even begin talking about this episode? Because there are so many like just great things about it, like just from everything concerning All Might to even the ending as a whole. There's just so many good things. But the first thing I want to start with is what I love about this episode is that it is essentially framed as All Might accepting that this is the end of the line for him, and it's him essentially accepting his own death. And the reason why I love that too is because like at the beginning of the episode, we see a flashback to basically All Might as a child and his mother, and he's singing her a song about him being a hero essentially. And while you get to hear his mom laugh, you don't get to hear her voice at all. And what I like about that is it subtly confirms that All Might doesn't even remember his mother's voice because she died when he was at such a young age. So he probably doesn't even remember what his own mother's voice sounds like at this point. He's only able to remember this moment specifically because it was the moment where he knew that he wanted to be a hero and that instilled him like essentially wanting to save people. That was honestly something that I didn't catch at first. And man, it's just so good. And oh man, what else, bro? What I also love too is that throughout the episode we get to see All Might walking down this path throughout it, right? And what I like about it too is that it's essentially symbolizing All Might's like death march. This is essentially him accepting that this is where his story ends. He remembers everything with Night Eye. We even get like All Might seeing the ghosts of his past, essentially, when he's been knocked out by All for One. We get to see him looking at Nana. We get to see him looking at Night Eye. And we got to see him basically accept that this is the end of the line for him. This is where his story ends. And what I like is that we see him walk down this path, but then he turns around and he sees all the light that he has left behind, all the light that he has left as All Might. And as he's pretty much accepted his death at this point, he then sees the two biggest manifestations of his light, of everything that he's done as All Might. We see Deku and Bakugo as children running along a different path, but they're holding their All Might cards that essentially bonds them together and that essentially made them want to become heroes. And now, because of everything that All Might has done throughout his life, he's now being saved by the people that he inspires most. And dude, when you think about it through that lens, this is some of the best stuff that Horikoshi has done. Now, I didn't always feel that way though, because when I was reading this in the manga week to week, I'm going to be honest, I didn't like it. This was stuff that I didn't really resonate with at first because if you remember My Hero Academia at that point, you know that the story, while good in execution, it wasn't always handled the best way. The release was kind of like really scattered at this point because Horikoshi was very sick. So the story wasn't able to essentially hit the way that I always knew that it could because the narrative was being affected by Horikoshi's illness. So when I saw that this was finally getting animated, I was like, okay, this is the anime's chance to essentially be Horikoshi's hero and revitalize the material for him. And when I saw this episode play out, I finally understood what Horikoshi was going for. This was essentially his tribute to All Might as a hero, right? Like, and that's what I love about this episode so much is it's a like I said, it's a dedication to All Might and everything that he's meant to the narrative. Because these last two episodes were essentially All Might's farewell as a hero, right? This is essentially his goodbye to that era. So I love that it was handled with so much love and care in the adaptation. Like I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know how they were going to do this. I didn't know how it was going to be executed. But the fact that it was executed, like I said, with so much love and care, is honestly like hats off to Bones, man. They crushed it. Like these first two episodes, I don't think you could get a better farewell for All Might as a character, like or at least just him as a hero. But man, where do I even start next, man? I guess everything with Bakugo. Let's just rip the band-aid off. Bakugo is back. And he came back in the way that I expected him to. I knew they were going to have him essentially show up to the battlefield and we get that moment with him and Izuku looking at each other. I had a feeling that's where the episode was going to end because like I've been saying, Bakugo is back to his new role, and that is to create cliffhangers, to create tension. That's what I think Bakugo is going to be primarily used for. So the fact now that we had Bakugo come back, and I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I said in the manga, I didn't like Bakugo coming back. I thought Bakugo coming back in the manga honestly took away a lot of stakes, and I especially didn't like how they revived him. I was not a fan of that at all. But in the anime, man, they've made his return so much better. It feels like such a heroic return from just the way he arrives to the battlefield, to the OST, to the way it is like the best looking shot in all of My Hero Academia. I have never seen anything that looks better than this. This looks like that looked like a completely different anime, man. When I saw that, I was blown away. I could not believe that they pulled that off. I was so impressed with what they were able to do there. And bro, the emotion and like just intensity that they were able to convey with just those two shots of Bakugo and Midoriya looking at each other. You get to see Midoriya piecing together, wait a minute, you're not actually dead. And the OST, like, not only did it feel heroic, but it also felt haunting in a way. And I wasn't expecting that. Like, I was honestly expecting we were going to get something similar to either Might You or maybe You Say Run, but I was not expecting like this kind of haunting ballad. That was honestly a really nice change that I honestly thought was really good. Like, I hope we get more stuff like this. And the fact that that was essentially Bakugo's return, like, or Bakugo's return OST, that was such a good choice. And whoever cooked that up, you are incredible. And you need a raise, bro. That was amazing. I love that so much. Like, dude, the final season is just getting handled with so much love and care, bro. I love it so much. And moving into next week, I think a video that I made previously now is coming to fruition because I said that Vincent Chansard needed to show up at some point in this season, right? I always thought I thought he was going to show up for All Might versus Bakugo, and I think that's going to come to fruition because from what I'm hearing, Vincent Chansard is on next episode. And from the trailer or the preview that we got, it looks like there's multiple chances for a Vincent Chansard cut in there at least. So if we get to see Vincent Chansard, I'm all for that because that would be essentially him like coming full circle with My Hero Academia. He went from having his cut in My Villain Academia completely and utterly decimated, and now he gets to do the cut that he's always wanted, and that's honestly perfect to me. Now we just need our boy Yutaka Nakamura, and then the final season is going to be a masterpiece. Now, moving on from that, I want to talk about the ending for a little bit. This is like a top 3 ending song, maybe top 1. I love it so much, not only because I just finished my rewatch of My Hero Academia, but what I love about it too is that it's framed as Deku essentially drawing on his past experiences throughout the story to better teach the new UA students of today. That's what I love about it. If you like the fact that it's framed that way, of Deku using all of his life experiences as a lesson plan is so perfect. Like, I could talk more about this ending in depth, but the fact that, like I said, Deku uses like his own life experiences as a lesson plan just enhances the ending so much more and makes Deku becoming a teacher that much better and shows that even though Deku didn't become the hero that we always thought he was going to be, he's still a hero in his own right because he's training up the heroes of tomorrow to become what he always thought they could become, or what he wanted to become, and instilling that in all of them. And honestly, when you think about it, that's the perfect ending for Deku, man. Him not only getting his suit at the end, but him also teaching the heroes of tomorrow to better prepare for the future. Like, when you think about it, Deku was always meant to be a teacher. We saw him teaching others. We saw him essentially writing in that notebook throughout pretty much the whole story. So Deku becoming a teacher is perfect in my eyes now. I love it so much more. Now that I've been able to sit with it for a while, Deku becoming a teacher is perfect. But I think that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How did you guys feel about this episode? Did you guys think it was a masterpiece similar to me? Or do you think a different episode is better? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.